It's Monday, time for Ask Melissa Almost Anything, where we talk about your life and your body, where we believe your health is your responsibility, that you have a choice in your health care, but most importantly, where we believe pain is not normal. I'm your host, Melissa Meiste. Did you know that not only have I been a physical therapist for 20 plus years, that I'm also a mom? One of the challenges of, well, life is balancing 100 different things. And if you're a mom, and it's not that I'm excluding the rest of you, okay, but I just want to speak to the moms a minute, to the people who are friends with moms, people who have a mom, or if you're married to a mom, just so that you can relate to this. There's kind of this joke when we say, well, that's 2020. Everybody kind of knows what we mean at this point, right? 2020 means I have no idea what's going to happen next. I'm going to make a plan and then I'm going to attempt to be flexible. And I feel like when you are juggling kids who are trying to be in school, when you are juggling work, marriage, a home, throw in your physical and mental health, any of those kind of things, when we are juggling all of this stuff, it's a lot. It's a lot. Uh, Running a business, taking care of the team, taking care of our clients, working with my husband on our personal finances. Again, managing, let's be honest, body issues, the weight, the scale, the pressures. There's so many things. The burdens that I often feel are heavy. Throw into that then neck pain, bulging disc, knee pain, a shoulder that's not working. I wasn't planning on talking just to moms today, or again, to the people who know moms, who are friends with moms, or married to moms. But one of the things that we're just guilty of is sometimes just doing too much. And it's not easy because there really is a lot of responsibilities. I don't say that I'm busy anymore. I've stopped. I don't like that phrase. I'm just so busy. No, I have a lot of responsibilities. That's how I like to look at it. And a responsibility isn't something that necessarily takes a certain amount of time, doesn't necessarily take a certain amount, like a checklist to do these kind of things. It is ongoing work, time, effort, all of those things. And it's often easy to neglect taking care of ourselves. This morning I was reflecting on the, the number of problems I get to solve today, this week, this month, this year. And it is a lot. Oh, and by the way, we're going through a home remodel. So, there's managing all of that. Is there enough money to pay for those things? Are the windows ever going to get ordered? There's a lot of stuff that's going on. And I know that if I am not taking care of myself, I don't get to do any of that. Unfortunately, I caught an intestinal bug last week. That will knock you down. And your health is something, right? Take care of it. It's something, what's the phrase? I always forget the cliche. It's something, if you don't pay attention to it, it will force you to pay attention to it, basically. Um, we like to say that your health is an investment, not an expense. And if I'm not staying healthy, which if I'm not drinking enough water, right, that throws me off. If I'm not sleeping enough, if I'm not moving enough, it's those things that help me feel mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally well. And so when we come here on Mondays to ask Melissa almost anything, I know that your aches and pains are tied into your life. I know when I'm treating a pregnant mama who has a little one already at home and has had all kinds of pain, worried about the next delivery, the first delivery didn't go well, all of those kind of things, we are taking care of people. We are taking care of their mental status, right? Their emotional health as much as physical, because it's tied together. And when we can't move well, when we're thinking about our pain rather than thinking about the people around us, we don't get to make that difference. And so that's why we're coming here every Monday to attempt to answer your questions, to give you access to a physical therapist who's really passionate about people not living in pain, believing that pain is not normal. Muscle soreness, good. Pain, not normal. And so, here to answer your questions, here to give you something to think about, to give you some advice. Uh, I'm blessed to work with a bunch of small business leaders from around the country. And when you're dealing with people of different occupations and different professions, you get the chance to learn what their perspective is on what you do. And I think of what my friend Daniel brings up regularly with me, as he learned only because I'm in the group, is that physical therapy, you don't need a prescription or a doctor's referral to come see us. And he reminds me of this often. He goes, it blew my mind. I had no idea that I could go see my physical therapist or a physical therapist without a doctor's order. Yes, that is true. And I always add the little asterisk at the end that says, it's not that we don't want your doctor involved, because you should have a primary care provider. If there's any takeaway, please, friends, have a primary care provider. I can't tell you how many people go, oh, I haven't seen my doctor in 10 years, or I think they retired, I don't have one. Oh my word, you guys, like, this should not be a problem. You need to have a relationship somewhere. You should be doing your annual physical. I mean, I have a lot of problems with Obamacare. Let's not go political here. But most insurance plans now, all the preventative stuff, your annual physical is covered. You have no excuse not for going. So go, have that relationship, so when you need something, they're there. But the point I was making is that's not required. And know that if we think it's more than we should do, we're going to say, no, you need to see your doctor. Go see a specialist, okay? But it's the message we keep saying. It's why you have a choice in your health care. You have a choice where you go. You can go anywhere you want. You can go see any doctor you want. You can go to any physical therapy clinic you want. You get to choose. It's one of the most important values of my life, is this freedom to choose, which again is why life currently in 2020 is driving me crazy. There's choice in some areas. I don't really want to talk about it, but I'm going to. It's being taken away from me. Sorry. I just went there. Don't hate me. But I like choice. And the reason I like choice is because it falls on you to be educated. You are responsible, right? Your health is your responsibility. Nobody else's. Don't be a victim, okay? Read. It's what gets me in trouble every weekend. I start reading some articles. I start reading about this virus thing. I start reading, I read research studies. I'm studying some stuff about women's health right now. I research articles on, oh goodness gracious, I don't know, right? Like, if I want to know about something, I do research. We should spend even more time researching where we're going to our physical therapy than where we're going out for dinner. Shouldn't you be looking up Google reviews on where you decide to go for your health care more than where you're going to buy a car, what car seat you're going to buy? I'm telling you, friends, people spend less time. They practically, well, nobody has a phone book anymore. They're throwing darts at the phone book. Well, that's close to me. No, of course. If I'm right around the corner from your house, I want you to choose me. But I would rather you choose to come to Nephew Physical Therapy because you read those Google reviews. This advice applies to my friends all over the country. And I will tell you, I have friends in every corner of the United States running great small businesses, by the way, many of them. You need to do your research. We just spend so much more time figuring out how to design our cabinets, right? Like, I've been spending weeks figuring out how we're going to build our cabinets and what they're going to look like. And I've been looking at photos on Instagram, and I'm like, oh, do I make the island gray or do I make it navy? Boy, I really like navy, but I'm just not sure if that's going to go with the black handles that I want, right? Like, I have spent ridiculous amounts of hours thinking about how the color of my island is going to be. Now, don't put any comments in the chat in regards to what color I should do, because you'll totally convince me to change my mind. It's easy to do, but when it comes down to what medicines we're taking, do I need to take medicine? Is there a lifestyle change I could do? You know, I'm going to throw in a little plug right here for I can't even say it right. Audrey Biker. Rachel, you want to put her information in the chat. Audrey Biker is a local health coach here in Holland. I highly recommend that you follow her on Instagram. And the reason I do is because her message in regards to planning and making good choices about what you're putting into your body, about movement, all of that kind of stuff is incredible. It's hard to swallow sometimes because definitely it's uncomfortable to hear that message. But this idea that taking care of your body takes planning, takes work, takes effort. I see how much she cooks. I hate cooking, but man, she's making some good quality food. Her kids are like having smoothies with green stuff in it, like good things, right? She talks about fuel, food as fuel. Oh, and what I hear, the message I am hearing that I'm working through, right? Because Audrey's very smart and she wants us to be, making proactive choices, and she's not shaming me. So this is what I really love about her message, is that I need to do a better job of planning and preparing. The same is true when it comes to my physical health, right? I have to plan and prepare. So I think I'll get off my soapbox here in just a minute. But to moms, and those of you married to moms and friends of moms, and maybe even if you're not a mom and you're really great at getting a million things done, but not always taking care of yourself, don't ignore what's going on with your body. It takes a variety of different things. And honestly, prevention can be more expensive than the cure. Or it will feel that way, right? Because you met your deductible on that expensive surgery that actually cost $10,000 to $20,000 only actually, had to pay your deductible. Whereas doing physical therapy, doing health coaching, working out, that takes a lot of time, and that can be expensive if you are overspending your time. So make sure when you're in 2020, when you say, oh, that's 2020, be prepared, be organized, be flexible, be willing to change directions, and know that every single thing I just said, I am preaching to the choir. It has been a challenging year. And yes, sometimes my thumb goes numb. My knee is tweaking. I'm not sure why. I need to build that butt strength back up. All of these things. And I know that if I can't get it to go away on my own, I'm asking for help. I will be a client in my own clinic because, let's be honest, I need somebody to coach me, to make me accountable. Something else this last week kind of happened. And again, if you have any specific questions, post them in the chat. If you happen to watch us on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube later on, you can always send us a personal message through either avenue, and we will make sure to answer your question in a future newsletter or on a Facebook Live, Instagram story, or we'll email you back or message you back directly. So we are here to give you as much help and much support as possible. So one of the things I wanted to talk about in regards to the expense, right? The actual dollars and cents that comes with healthcare. Let's chat through this for just a minute, because here's the challenge. It's going to cost you something. You walk into Meijers, you fill your cart full of stuff. You have to pay for it before you leave. Somewhere in the world of healthcare, we decided let's provide a bunch of services and then try to collect the money from you months later. Now, I apparently just want to be political today. I don't know how you feel about Donald Trump. So I just said Donald Trump. I know some of you are mad at me. Some of you are high-fiving me. I get it, right? Welcome to 2020. But one of the things that he has done, and you have to look at his policies and his actions, not just the crazy stuff that comes out of his mouth, because whether you like him or not, he just sometimes says weird things. I can admit that. I sometimes say weird things pretty regularly. One of the things he is working towards, and I really, really like this about what he's talking about, is transparency in the cost of our medical bills. Transparency into what something costs. The reason I like this is because we have been doing this for years. I'm like, way to go, Donald. You're right. I am totally on the same page with you as this. Because here's what happens. How many of you have gone to a specialist or you have gone to, oh, let's see, who else? Physical therapist, you've had surgery, whatever, you have no idea how much it's going to cost you. I mean, you're not going to urgent care and they're saying, okay, well, your insurance costs this, and you have a $150 copay, and then anything that we do, oh, by the way, if we run an X-ray, it's going to cost you this, but if we do that CAT scan, that's going to be $87,000 or whatever, right? And you get that all, and then, look at me playing with this mask, let's get rid of that. Then you get this bill. So you don't remember if you had good care. You don't remember if the doctor was helpful. You don't remember if you sewed your leg back on. You just go, oh my goodness, that appointment cost me $87,000. Well, that's the last thing we want you to remember from your physical therapy experience. Okay? You need to think about, oh my goodness, I couldn't use my arm before. I couldn't lift weights. I couldn't throw a ball with my kids. I was having a hard time opening a jar of pickles. Whatever the things that are tough, you couldn't do those things. We don't want you to remember the bill. Well, that just sucks, right? You want to, you don't buy a car and want to think about the cost of it, because at that point you're thinking new car smell and how great you look in your new car, right? Which is why pay cash. Anyway, I digress. So when it comes to healthcare, you need to know how much it costs. And yay, thank you, Donald Trump, for working on this. But what I will tell you, here's the back end of that conversation. So at Nephew Physical Therapy, and I can speak for us, and I highly advocate for you doing your research at your local physical therapy clinic. Of course, everybody should come to Nephew. This is the understanding here. However, if for some reason you live 4,000 miles away in Phoenix and you just can't come here, I get it. But you need to ask. So here's what we have done. I've said this many, many times. We have become experts in insurance by default. I never set out to know as much about insurance as I do. Never planned on it. Wasn't the objective, wasn't the point. But when people ask you enough questions over and over, and you see that when you tell somebody what it costs up front, they either pay for it or they quit, which is better than providing a service that you never got paid for. Does anybody out there like to work for free? Pretty sure nobody does. So what we started to do is we do an estimate. We do an insurance verification. So we double check, one, is your insurance active? Believe it or not, friends, people come to therapy thinking they have insurance and they don't. I have no idea how that even happens. We look it up. Oh yeah, I have Priority Health. Oh, I have Blue Cross Blue Shield. Here's my card. We look it up. Inactive. Haven't had it for months. So one, make sure that your insurance is active. Okay. Number two, then what we do is we find out if you have a deductible. Okay. The deductible is the first dollars out of pocket. Friends, if you have a deductible, okay, you have to pay all of that out of pocket first. It does not, listen to me very careful. I'll go nice and slow here for you in the back. If you pay for your physical therapy, because we're talking about physical therapy today, if you pay for your physical therapy and the insurance pays $0, it does not mean that the insurance didn't cover that. Did you hear what I said? If you come to therapy, we bill your insurance, but the insurance company doesn't pay anything until you meet your deductible, it doesn't mean the insurance didn't cover it. They covered it. They reduced it down to their rate. You got their discount. You got all of these things. And you, keep this in mind, you get the credit of that amount toward your deductible, whether you pay us or not. So if you come to therapy and you have $500 worth of medical bills and it processes through, right, and the insurance company says it's $500, you have to pay that to us. But you get credit towards your $500 towards your deductible. That automatically happens on their end. It's up to us on our end to collect that from you. So I had a call last week. Somebody was following up. They had come for just a couple of visits and then something changed with their doctor and they didn't continue care. We billed it through their insurance. They had a deductible to meet. So they owed for the first visit. The first visit, yes, is the most expensive. The first visit requires us to assess you, measure everything. We've got to create all this documentation. We have to send all this stuff to the insurance. We have to send stuff to your doctor. the list, all the things, right? So the first visit, there is an extra charge on the first visit that is called an initial evaluation charge. Now, again, depending on your insurance, that will determine how much it is. We charge up here, but the insurance is reimbursed somewhere down here. It varies. That is just how it goes. And so if you have Priority Health, I can tell you exactly how much it's going to cost. If you have Blue Cross Blue Shield, I can be within probably $5 of how much it is because of how they reimburse. One is a set rate, no matter how long the appointment is. One is a variable rate based on what services we provide, which varies based on the need of your particular condition, your current status, all of those kind of things. So, concerned client calls. Ask the question, why did my wife pay this much to you guys? I only came twice. So we talked through it. When he says, so you're telling me my insurance didn't cover it? No, nobody said the insurance didn't cover it. The insurance did. Your insurance plan says before the insurance company will pay anything towards your health care bill, you have to pay $300, $500, $1,000, $3,000 before they'll start to kick in. Okay? So knowing that you have, so one, we said know that your insurance is active. The second thing you need to know is what is your deductible. Okay? Now, my advice, because if we're going to be organized but flexible, is you should every year work to save that much money in case you need to use it. So if you have a $3,000 deductible, which that's what my family has, look at me sharing all my details, I know that the first $3,000 of medical bills is coming out of our pocket. That is how our plan works. So because we qualify for a health savings account, we're setting money aside every year. Now, we don't need that. It can sit there, okay? And then if I need it next year, I can use it. But every year in my head, I have decided that we're going to spend $3,000 in medical bills. Because my kids are going to break their arms, and my husband's going to mess up his knee. And, well, I don't even want to list all the things that we've been to the urgent care for this year or the last couple of years. Like, things are going to happen. There are boys in my house, 3 of them, my 2 kids, my husband, okay? Accidents are going to happen. And you shouldn't stay at home with a giant cut in your leg because you're afraid of how much it's going to cost. Be prepared. So then, once the deductible's met, and this is where, let's add this in. Now that we're almost into October, many of you, if your insurance resets on January 1st, third thing you need to know, what is your anniversary or your reset date, or it goes back to 0. If it resets January 1st, what do you need to get done this year because you've met your deductible? Please don't wait till December 10 to call us because your deductible has been met and you want to jam in as much therapy as possible. In case you all forgot, Christmas happens in December, and we take some time off in Christmas because we like to be with our families too. So don't call us on December 10th and say, I want to do 12 visits of physical therapy before January 1st. We'll go, there's just no room. Because everybody else is doing the same thing. So if you have met your deductible for this year and you have not done physical therapy because you're a bit concerned about the expense, the actual dollar amount, this is the time of year to do it. Okay? This is a time of year to try it out. What we believe is true, and I have people that come that I can think of right now, clients I can think of right now, who were hesitant to come in originally because of the cost. Now they come back, they're not concerned about the cost or the dollar amount because the value that they're getting and how much better they feel is absolutely worth it. Because here's what I know about my team. I'm going to brag on them. The value they provide and the quality of that appointment. We're doing an hour. It's not a 30-minute appointment. So yes, this is a huge commitment in your schedule when you're busy and you're running around, right? We talked about moms earlier, which is why people quit, because it takes too much. Except for it's not worth it. Everyday pain is not worth it. I'm telling you. So what we have found is once people experience it, and kind of experience kind of a difference, they're not as concerned the next time about that cost because now we've started to think about our deductible as health care, not sick care. Well, I've been on a lot of soapboxes today, But these are the things, right? When we have an open line at the end of the month, so keep in mind, the last Monday of every month is an open line topic. And we'll be talking about a variety of different things. Different things, because the point of these conversations, again, on Monday, is to give you something to think about. Something for you to chew on that you will make a better decision when it comes to your health and the health of the loved ones that you take care of. That we act faster, sooner, that we are proactive, right? Your health is your responsibility. We are not victims. Where we talk about your body and your life, they are tied together. How your body feels affects the quality of your life. Quality matters. And so these are things when we talk about the expense, the cost, the actual dollar cost, and the cost of time and effort and energy. These are things to keep in mind. And so it's why one of the things that we pride ourselves in is transparency in the cost of physical therapy at Nephew Physical Therapy. It is something we should expect out of every healthcare provider that we run into. Now, again, we don't always know what we're going to need. Of course, when if your loved one is having a heart attack and you're rolling them into the emergency room, nobody is stopping to say how much this is going to cost, because we are literally talking about life and death in that moment. I totally understand that. But because we deal with people all the time, you need to know what your deductibles are. You need to know if you have a co-insurance. Once that deductible's met, are you familiar with the term max out of pocket? Does it go 80-20? Does it go 70-30? Does it go 90-10? Does it sound like I just spoke another language to you? These are things you should know. And yes, friends, don't just leave. I'm sure of it. It's almost true in every relationship, especially if you're married. One of you understands your insurance better than the other. And it's not always the husband. It's not always the wife. There's one of you that understands it better, because the client will come in, the patient will come in and say, I don't know about these things. My husband will deal with it. Or I don't know. My wife looks into this stuff, right? There's always somebody who's just more on top of it. If that person has questions, we're here to answer them. We give you that information. And because of technology, one of the blessings of the internet is we almost instantly can assess some of your insurances. Some of these websites are up to date on how much has been covered for you, what's been paid out, all of that stuff. And gosh darn it, we're pretty sinking close, okay? Because we're collecting as we go. Because remember, you at the end of your therapy, you want to remember how good you feel, not how much it cost you to feel good. One last thing I want to share for my open rant Monday. Actually, these are some of my favorite things to talk about. So I hope that you're learning something, and thanks for coming along. But I want to end on this note. Physical therapy is super personal. When I go back to my college days, you get very comfortable with your classmates because you're poking and prodding. We're going into armpits to check muscles. We're poking in the glutes. We get used to other people moving your arm around. You build a lot of trust in each other because you are trying to replicate the dependence that your patient may have on you. And if you're dealing with somebody who's had a stroke or a spinal cord injury or shoulder surgery, any of those things, we are up and personal. So physical therapy is probably one of the most personal, intimate relationships that you might find in the healthcare experience, because one, we're spending a fair amount of time with you, right? One-on-one for an hour, which gives you a lot of time to chat, to build friendships, to build relationships, to find out about each other's lives. And when you think about it, and I think about some people who've really changed my life and taken me out of pain, physical pain, the pain associated with business. There's a few names that pop into my head who I have this deep connection, love, and appreciation for because they've truly changed my life. And once in a while, actually more than once in a while, we have the opportunity to somebody really shows us how much of an impact we've made. Just a couple weeks ago, was working with a mom on her Meiste, bawling her eyes out. And there's zero shame in this. Like, it was so humbling because we had the privilege of helping her change her life. When you are in so much pain that sitting feels awful, bending forward, taking care of your household, your kids, whatever that is, when pain is stopping you from living, that's not living. And I think of the emotions that she shared, and I just hugged her. I was like, you did the work. She worked hard. She showed up. She did all the things that she needed to do. And a difference was made. A life was changed. It's a huge responsibility when somebody literally puts their body in our hands. When we are literally up close and personal and loosening up muscles and mobilizing joints and training and teaching and coaching and praying and whatever we need to do to walk alongside with somebody. That relationship, I know that mom is now forever. She is my friend. And that is a gift I get to have for the rest of my life because I got to walk with her and encourage her and help her achieve her goals. Like that is work that matters. So when we say, because pain is not normal, that is our why. We believe that people should be treated. Let me see, I have this written over my door, right? I haven't looked at this in a while. We believe that because pain, people should have to live with pain, right? Pain is not normal, but that you should be treated like a person, not like a number. Should not be physical therapy, should not be a DMV experience. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be go wait in line over here or go do this and a bunch of stress and traffic and no personalized attention. It is personal therapy. It is physical. We will physically work on you. You will physically have to work. But it's about finding solutions. It's about finding answers. It's about finding a life that is lived the way you want to live it. Sure, we've got a lot of other challenges to face in life, right? There's politics and there's bills to pay and there's a job to do and all those things. But when you hurt, when your neck hurts, your arm goes numb, your knee hurts, your back hurts, sprain your ankle, you have surgery, I don't care what it is, it's very hard to focus on your life and your relationships. Don't accept it as normal. Please don't. Do something about it. Join us again next week as we talk about sciatica. Is it truly sciatica, or do you have just another pinched nerve in your leg? Thanks for joining us today. Melissa Meiste with Nephew Physical Therapy, reminding you pain is not normal. Do something about it.